Hey, what's going on, everyone? My name is Coach Dave from StructuredStrength.com, and today we're going to talk about those rounded, slumpy shoulders that we see everywhere. I have them a little bit myself. Pretty much anyone watching this, you probably have this a little bit because you're sitting there on your phone, watch this on YouTube in this position. So we all get stuck driving. We like to do a lot of stuff in the front of our body because it looks good in the mirror. We sit kind of slouched watching Netflix, Hulu, whatever you do. For most people, they're binge watching Stranger Things, season 3 right now. But we want to do things to help correct this, right? So the front side, that's what everything looks good in the mirror. The back side is whatever keeps us safe and healthy, all right? So first thing we're going to talk about, I'm going to put this dumbbell down real quick, is this musculature in here, connected to our collarbone. We have our pec minor. You have your pec that comes across. Don't worry about names. Just understand that if we're always doing stuff in the front, this pulls and internally rotates. So now I have an internally rotated shoulder, and if I try and press overhead with that, I'm hitting the roof of it. It can cause shoulder pain. This is just not a great place to be in, puts a lot of strain on our neck. It's a problem, right? So we have to stretch that out in some way, shape, or form. And I don't personally like to do really passive stretches. I like to get in there and be a little bit more active and fight against it and get my body used to the idea that I can create force at end range, like it's safe to, hey, let's let ourselves go there and not be so tight and protected, because sometimes our body tenses up just to protect itself. So you can use a PVC pipe, a wood dowel, whatever you have. I just grabbed the 5-pound dumbbell quick. I'm going to get my shoulder into external rotation, and then I'm going to do like the traditional pec stretch. So the pec stretch you see everyone do, they go 90-90, they rotate away, that's famous doorway stretch, but we want you to get externally rotated even more. So you can do it with no weight and try and keep your hand back by yourself, but for a lot of people that's really hard to keep their arm back and rotate. So sometimes we'll take something like a dumbbell, hold it in place, pressing into that rig, and I'm going to rotate and try and peel myself open at that position. I like to personally squeeze my shoulder blades back before I get into it, just to kind of preset my shoulder so I don't end up forward and kind of rotating funny on it. So I'll squeeze back and down, come across. I'm not doing it super hard. It's a pretty gentle stretch. What I mean by being active with it is I'm going to go into end range, hold, breathe, come out of it. Go into end range, breathe, come out of it. And I'll work it like that, just like repetitions of an exercise, over just staying there and holding it and not wasting time, but I feel like you'll get more out of it if you're a little bit more active. All right, so that's one thing to think about. The other thing we can think about is our upper back and our T-spine. If we're really forward, we need to work on extension, and your spine usually works in extension and rotation at the same time, your T-spine. So one thing we can do is just the typical thoracic rotation extension. And that's where we're on our hands and knees. Hand behind our head, we'll go elbow to elbow. Now you can see, elbow to elbow. I rotate up as high as I can. It's okay to look. Just do 10, 12 per side. Take your time with it. Another variation we can do, which is a little bit harder, is I'm going to take this foam roller. I'm going to lay on my side, put my knee across it. I'm going to reach, and then I'm going to lift my arm up and rotate as far as I can without letting this knee come off that mat. Whoa, got a good crack in there. Maybe you heard it. Come back nice and slow. Reach. Again, rotate all the way back. Again, just 10 reps, working into your warm-up. If that feels good and you can get your arm all the way to the ground, you can also try the reach and rotate all the way up overhead, again, without letting that knee come up, and then come on back. Now, I just did those two things on my right side only, and you might not be able to see it, but I feel like this side is just looser. So if I stand here, this side looks more forward than this, just from doing that real quick. All right, so something to think about when you start working on this. Now we need to think about strengthening things in our upper back. So people will say it's your rhomboids. Wherever it happens to be, we want to get it stronger. Rhomboids are those muscles kind of between your shoulder blades. If I look at your back, and we have those spinal erectors come up really strong, and then things kind of disappear and there's nothing in your middle back, this might be a problem for you. So this is just a little skinny TheraBand. You can get heavier bands. You can double this up any way you want. So we can do band pull-aparts, a really effective way to hit our rhomboids, or we can also do band pull-aparts kind of a lazy way and just reinforce bad positioning. So usually when we see band pull-aparts, people are just trying to spread the band as far apart as possible, but see how my shoulders kind of came forward? I'm shrugged up in my ears. We want to try and get, instead of just a flat angle, we want to have a little bit of a downward angle, and I'm actively pulling my shoulder blades down, and I'm going to rotate my hands around. So you can see I'm holding that band between my index finger and my middle finger. All right? So I'm gonna start palms down, and as I pull my shoulder blades back and down, I'm gonna pull that band apart and see how I rotated my hands. I wanna try and rotate as I go. We're exaggerating that external rotation. I might even be arching a little bit. And I'm not thinking about squeezing my shoulder blades together. I'm trying to spread my hands as far apart as possible from each other. So downward angle, a little bit of rotation, make sure we're focusing on keeping those shoulders down. Next, we can use a banded face pull. I like this exercise a lot. I like it more than band pull-aparts personally. I'm gonna set up this band eye level or higher. It almost can't be too high, but it can be too low. Same thing, I'm holding the band between my index finger and middle finger. And since it's starting higher, I'm gonna set my shoulders back and down, pull my elbows wide, and I'm gonna pull my hands in, or excuse me, back, and come back. Now, the way most people mess this up is to do this one. They come up, their shoulders are up, and now I'm in this kind of funky position. I'm using my upper traps a lot. So we wanna make sure that our shoulders come back and down, elbows come wide, rotate those hands up. And take your time with the movement. No reason to be like this. Take your time, really feel it, really focus on that downward angle, and then rotate the finish, get a nice little squeeze in there. All right, when it comes to these, you can do it every day as long as you're not doing it so bad that you almost feel shoulder pain. Sometimes that happens when people overstretch their shoulders. Your shoulders are really flexible and mobile as they are. We don't want to overdo it. We just want to get our body used to a new range of motion and strengthen everything that's going to hold it in the right position. Upper back exercises, you can almost do every day. Vary it. Do heavy rows, band pull-aparts, face pulls, vary the angles a little bit, vary the tools. You can literally do it every day. Your back responds really well to it. All right, so hopefully that helps you. If you're one of those slumpy people, let's work on it today. Get right to work on it. Don't waste any time. If you need any help with strength training or any type of programming, you can always check out structurestrength.com. Comment below. Talk to you guys soon.